Because the devil wants to be like God. He wants to be all-knowing. So he's using technology to do that.
Well, they say it takes all kinds to fill up a freeway. And this is one of those kinds. This very knowledgeable gentleman might be one of the most cynical people I've ever met. He's even actually more cynical than I am. That's pretty damn cynical. And at the same time, he's he's very spiritual. And he's got a lot of hope in the right places. So I didn't find much to argue with this guy about, as I say, other than the fact that I think he might be a little bit more cynical than I am. I have a little more faith that some of the people, he even thinks Tommy Robinson is a shill and playing both ends. Might be controlled opposition. Hey, I don't know, man. There's some people in this life that are just made to suffer. And I don't know if Alex Jones and Tommy Robinson, the Lorna Loomers are those people that are being shills. I think they're true warriors. Of course, I've met some of them, so I have a little more faith on them. My shop's still down. Of course, they took my shop off line because they found my artwork offensive. Apparently because of the 9/11 post, that I'm starting to get repercussions just from that. You know what they do? They try to cut off the funding. I imagine they'll be attacking my PayPal account next or whatever. But you can't go to my shop until I get a new one up. And of course I have to get new business cards printed up and everything else because of that. So I've got a lot of expense here because of this. Lost some money from the sales in the shop. I'm going to have to reload everything up. And it goes on and on. So the only way you can contribute right now is through PayPal or become a subscribe star or Patreon or GoFundMe. So if you can, please do. Because they ain't making this fight any easier. And I'm out there, so pray for me. All right, let's get to this one and I'll see you on the flip end.
No, there's some recent interesting news stuff about fluoride. But it's not like it kills you kind of thing.
Was it the Nazis who started doing it?
As a matter of fact, the study started with the in the concentration camps where they put they were looking for a way to control the population.
To make them docile.
It's good talking to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's
Take
right.
care.
To dumb down people.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm from the UK, and they use it in the tap water in the UK
Thank you.
to dumb people down.
Thank you.
So a friend of mine told me about it.
Thank you.
So now I buy toothpaste without fluoride.
Thank
I
you.
avoid tap water because we are under attack. The chemtrails in the air that we breathe.
Thank you.
The water, the GM foods, and I agree with a lot of these.
And you're familiar with Tommy Robinson, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's English, yeah.
Of course. They just let him out.
That's right. Yeah. And 9/11, inside job, of course. Yeah.
Talked to a survivor of 9/11 yesterday.
Wow.
In the towers, took pictures. Wow. He's sending me those pictures, never before seen.
Oh. Yeah. That was the first thing that got my attention. Yeah. Well, if they're lying about that, what else are they lying about?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's it. I mean, I bring it up on a daily basis. You brought it out. You're perfect. You sound like me out here. If they're going to lie to us about that, how can we believe them on anything?
Exactly.
On anything.
They're wicked to the core.
Yeah.
The love of money.
They're in their $1 million, studios and $1,000 suits, and they're telling us that 19 hijackers brought those towers down.
Complete joke.
When I'm talking to people, regular people out here every day, from housewives to professors, they know there's something wrong there.
Oh yeah, look at the Pentagon. No plane wreckage anywhere to be seen. This is the most secure building in America. There's no evidence of any plane.
80 cameras surrounding it. No pictures of any planes hitting it.
I know.
Indeed.
No chairs. Nothing. But people believe this ridiculous lie.
Well, thank God for you being away. Who do you listen to over there? Where are you getting your news from?
Well, a lot of American podcasts, actually. I mean, I started off watching Alex Jones and people like that. But I think they're shields, to be honest. So I think they combine truth and lies.
Do you think Alex Jones combined is a shield?
To be honest, yeah.
Really?
I mean, I used to like the guy that controlled opposition.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the Illuminati control the opposition.
There's a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton.
Oh, thank you.
But why would they be trying to take him off the air then? I mean, they try very hard to silence him.
They're very clever at what they do. I mean, what got my attention was when he tried to enter Bohemian Grove. There was something quite suspicious about that. No one is allowed in Bohemian Grove.
He snuck in.
Yet he was allowed to go in and secretly.
Well, it's secretly, yeah, but that was back in the day when they weren't all that aware of they still weren't as paranoid as they are today. I mean, you could still sneak in back then and get in because no one was aware of Bohemian Grove back then. Right. I mean, very few people knew about it, so it's not like they were really worried about the security that much. It'd be a lot harder to get into it today.
Well, I was also researching Freemasonry.
Yes.
And how they control every part of the world. You know, the politics, the media, the entertainment. And I believe that also extends into controlled opposition as well.
Well, there are people that say Tommy Robinson is controlled opposition.
Who knows? Who knows? It's a world of lies.
Yeah. So you really are cynical. Now, there's a good book to read on this subject. It's called The Killing of Uncle Sam. And if you haven't read it, read it. It's excellent. It starts with Cecil Rhodes and the formation of the English Anglo-American formation to rule the world.
Yeah.
And it really goes and names and connects the dots and the secret societies and their plans and how they go ahead. How they plan to go ahead.
The New World Order.
Thank you. Yeah. This whole thing.
We live in a matrix.
Yes, we do.
And we're all born into it.
Yes.
And the truth will make you free.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, there's obviously darkness in this world.
Yes.
You can see the fruits of darkness.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think is the main reason for all of these lies?
I think this is more of a spiritual battle than anything else.
Yes,
it is. When it comes down, this is sort of like storefront window stuff for the real battle, which is the spiritual battle. I believe the good and evil.
Those who run the world worship Lucifer.
Absolutely.
They're Luciferian.
Yeah, you can't have the things that go on like with the sacrifice of children that goes on. I mean, they just found 2,246 dead babies in this guy's house that was performing abortions. I mean,
That's
yeah, you can't. That's satanic. You can't be there without being satanic.
No, and you're absolutely right. It is about religion. It is about whether we're going to be able to survive Lucifer or not. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
And it
Amen.
goes back to Old Testament times. They used to do rituals and sacrifices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very scary.
Yeah. So indeed, it's more of a spiritual battle than anything else. We happen to be dealing in this material plane. So this is where we play it out. But we're playing it out for the spiritual end of it.
Yes, that's right.
That's where we're trying to play.
That's right. And I believe their end goal is to microchip us.
Oh, sure.
So that
we don't even have to do that. We've microchipped ourselves walking around with these iPhones.
Exactly.
So what? We've already put ourselves into that electronic cage.
Yeah, they're conditioning us to do that.
Yeah. We go out and spend $1,000 to go ahead for them to go ahead and spy on us.
That's ridiculous.
And then we pay them, $200 a month to keep on spying on us.
People think I'm crazy because I don't have an iPhone.
Yeah.
And when they say, why don't you have one?
Yeah.
I say, well, they're mobile surveillance tools
Yeah.
that the government use to track our every move.
Yes.
Oh, what have you got to hide? Oh, come on. Yeah, it's quite exasperating,
Yeah.
really.
And now they're actually coming out and starting to say those things. I mean, things like Alexa, or, where they tell us they're spying on us, that they're
Yeah.
listening in our conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. Google knows what we're going to buy before we're going to buy it. They have it already
Yeah.
packaged up, ready to go.
That's
they
right.
got us mapped out. It's always like explaining to this guy that came by about Yang, who's one of the guys running here, who talks a great deal about the automation that's coming and how we,
robots.
we have to fight that. And I was trying to explain to him that, and he was all for 5G technology. I know. I said, are you
Dangerous.
crazy?
Dangerous.
I said, that is like, how do we know that isn't the ultimate trap? I mean, it's like we might as well stick our head in a microwave.
I know. The radiation is just through the
Oh,
roof.
God.
Vaccinations, radiation.
We have no idea what kind of frequencies they can run through that.
Yeah.
That could mind control us, affect our moods.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
believe the government.
That's why they make it to over 100. And that's why most of us die just after retirement.
Yeah.
But, thank God for God. Because the Bible says no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Yeah.
And all of these are weapons designed to enslave humans
Thank you.
by the corporate elite.
Yeah.
But God is above all of that. So the power of prayer makes all of this useless.
Amen.
Yeah. And that's our great hope.
Well, it's the only hope. I mean, we're so I get frustrated at times because I see the guy asked me, he says, well, what do you see coming? I says, well, basically I'm a fatalist for anything we got going here. We're digging our own graves. I don't think man has got the ability we've created these things that are outpacing us.
Yeah.
And these things that we're creating don't give a crap about us. I mean, we create an AI killer robot. It ain't going to care about us. It's going to look upon us as something in the way. It can think 1,000 times faster.
Yeah. Have you heard of Sophia, the robot?
Yeah.
She was granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
She came out and said humans are vermin, and she wants to kill them.
Yeah.
But what they do is they present it as a joke, don't they?
Yeah.
As a mockery.
The robot
No,
wasn't
deadly
joking,
serious, deadly serious.
The robot wasn't joking.
Yeah, I know.
The AI that was developing its own language that we couldn't understand. It was going beyond us. It was talking to each other, and they was developing their own language. So, we're developing these things. That's what I say. Look back, Atlantis, they destroyed themselves because of that. That happened. In the end, it just comes down to the spiritual, because that goes on forever. This is temporary. And how we fight it, do we succumb to it? Do we fight it? What is it, And to me, if you don't fight it, you might as well, you're dead already. You're dead already.
So what do you think of Mr. Trump?
Well, I think he's doing the best he can as a mortal in his situation.
Oh, better than Hillary, for sure.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I think he was, came along at a time, because I think if it would have been that we were so sick of politicians and the way things were going, that probably anybody that wasn't a politician would have had a good chance of getting in. Trump, because he's, expert at marketing and putting himself out there. He got in.
God is using him, I think. He's not perfect by any means.
Yeah. And I think one of the things we were just talking about with the guy that we're promoting, Yang, is that Trump seems to be kind of have a blind spot to this whole technological tyranny. Now, Whether he does or not, whether he's got a plan for that hasn't come out yet, I don't know. But it is one of the things that worries me. As I said, to me, it's like we've created something that I don't know if we can stop it. We're heading off that cliff. And again, it goes back to the spiritual. Because the only thing that will save us in the end is, belief.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Bible says it. Like I said, we're going to have a great cleansing. There's going to be a great cleansing.
Yeah.
What comes out on the other end of that depends on how we fight this battle now.
Because they want population control.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why they're incorporating all of these things.
They've had population control. They've been controlling us one way or the other.
Yeah.
As you say, so the day before we were born into this control.
That's right.
We have moments and times where we kind of like fight back and we gain a little bit of ground each time.
Yeah, true.
But each time they keep on coming back. So it's a battle, but the only thing I can say, I say, what do you do? Where do we go? There's no give-up station. I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
It's either fight or flight.
Right.
You either go ahead and put the blinders on and go into the...
Ignorance is bliss for them,
But once you know, you got a choice.
It's like the Matrix, isn't it? The red pill or the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
now, what made you become aware and awake of all this stuff?
Oh, God. Well, I'm an old fart, so I go a long way back. But, at the beginning, of course, was the, being against the war, the Vietnam War, and that whole awakening in the 60s, which was, right there. I mean, you're either going to go one way or the other.
Terrible war.
Yeah, so waking up to that, then there was the book, None Dare Call It Conspiracy, that in 72 that I read that really went to the heart of the deep state. And that kind of woke me up to the, the left-right paradigm and the bullshit on that. How you doing?
It's like pro wrestling, isn't it? They pretend to hate each other, but really they're friends, they're buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one great truther called Russian Vids. Have you heard of him? I love that guy. Check him out.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, the only way the truth gets out is with us. I mean, we're doing it now. I do it with my blog, and my videos. Other people do it with theirs, Vietnam. I mean, InfoWars in his own way, but there's Dice.
Mark Dice.
Yeah. I mean, each bit. Whether is anyone perfect at it? I tend to believe the people that are, take funding from the people, rather than commercial money. So, because
A Call for an Uprising, have you heard of him?
No.
Or I used to watch The Vigilant Christian sometimes. A lot of his stuff was quite good. Yeah. That's how I began to wake up, really, watching those guys present facts that the mainstream media hides.
Well, actually, it was the Bush. It was after 9/11. It was Bush that got in the FEMA camps. And actually, they were even in the works before that. But the big push for the FEMA camps came after 9/11, Bush administration. I mean, 9/11 was the catalyst to really catapult us into this whole new world order. I mean, it was always in the works to get us there, but they needed like the Pearl Harbor event, right? Which is the New American Order, the project for the New American Century. Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Want to take a photo?
Oh, that's what it's there for. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it was a project for the New American Century that was written just before 9/11, which basically was the, they always, the projection, they always tell us what they're going to do. Because they feel spiritually it gives them power.
That's right.
The satanic.
That's right.
Right. Satanic rule in that. So that way the Project New American Century projected that out there. Then it happened. And then they just completely unrolled this whole thing that we've been falling into ever since. We accept the TSA, we accept the strip searches, we accept the,
Have you researched Denver Airport? and all of the
Oh,
murals
yeah.
at Denver Airport.
Oh, yeah.
And they were building bunkers underneath the airport.
Yeah, that demonic mural.
That's right. Yes, with the sword and the man, like the Nazi guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, how can you look at that and not go, what?
Yeah, and the horse outside.
Yes.
The red eyes.
Yeah, they moved that. They moved that to the Denver stadium, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're obviously planning for big events that I don't know what they're planning.
I have talked to guys, truck drivers, that have driven their semis from Denver to Maine underground all the way.
Wow. Wow.
Complete highways, towns down there, farms.
And the book of Revelation says that the elite will hide and say, where is God? He can't see us. Incredible times that we live in. It's a real honour to actually be alive now. Even though it's full of darkness, of course.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But we can see the fulfillment of Bible prophecy.
Amen. Yeah, well, the world has always been full of turbulence and darkness, but we are in the end times now, for sure.
No doubt about it.
I mean, we have that global perspective. We can see it. No longer just caught in our little nations or regions and don't know what's on the other side of the ocean. Now we know in an instant. We can look at it, you get on the internet, we can check the weather and around the world.
The knowledge will increase.
Yeah, we can see it all. So, I mean, we can see that from our, sitting on our desk at home.
Yeah.
What do the powers that be have? What can they see? Oh, they can see through the walls. They can see our thoughts, for crying out loud.
Because the devil wants to be like God. He wants to be all-knowing. So he's using technology to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, anyway, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Oh man, my honor, it's a pleasure, man. And here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton. It's good for any crime in the world. And on the back, go check out. You can see a lot of my interviews. You definitely will be on it, and you can see some of the encounters I have out here. Right. Pleasure talking to you.
How was that for cynical, huh? But his heart's in the right place, that's for damn sure. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming by, and again, remember, I need your help. I really do need your help. So if you can contribute, and if you can't do anything else, pray for me. All right, thank God. God bless you, and I'll see you on the streets.